Hey friends, it's Alex and today I'm sharing my YALC TBR. So the authors who are going to be at YALC this year have finally been announced like a week or so ago I think, and I have got together all of the books. There's a pile right here, you can't see, it's a very big pile. So these are all of the books that are on my TBR that are written by authors who are going to be at YALC. So these are not necessarily, I'm not necessarily going to take all of these books to YALC, it depends on how I like them when I read them, and also these are not the only books I'm choosing from to take to YALC because there are some that I've read that I will be taking. But these are the books that I'm going to read over the next 2 months and a week or however long it is in preparation for YALC. I think there's 2 or maybe just one or 2 books that I know I want to read that I don't have on here yet because they've not come out yet, but I'm pretty sure they come out before YALC. But anything else, like any other books by authors that are going that I've not checked out before but that sound intriguing, I might just leave and buy at YALC and read them after, if that makes sense. I don't know if I will necessarily be buying any more books for YALC before YALC. So yes, these are all of the books that I own that I have not read by authors who are going to be at YALC, and I just thought I would go through them with you. So first up I have The Falling in Love Montage and Not My Problem by Kira Smith. I believe she is an Irish author and these books are sapphic and I am excited to check them out. I've had them for a while and so I'm really glad that she's going to be at YALC to push me to finally read them, and then hopefully I will love them and I can get them signed and meet her as well. That would be really nice. I've heard good things about both of these, so I will be checking them out hopefully soon. Also, there are a lot of books on this list, so I'm just going to go through them and I will put like links to their Goodreads pages in the description if you want to see what they're about. Next up I have Destination Anywhere by Sarah Barnard. I have met her a few times. I don't know if I will take this one. It depends on how I feel after I read it, but the last book of hers that I read, I think it was Goodbye Perfect that I read most recently. I didn't super duper love, so I don't know if I'm just like kind of growing out of her books a bit, so I'll see how I feel about this one as to whether I take it or not. But it is on my TBR, so I may as well give it a try now. Also, this is like the really pretty proof. This came out 2 years ago and I still haven't read it. Next is Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart. I'm so excited that she's going to be there because, again, it means that I have a push to read this book. I've been wanting to read it for ages and now it's one of the ones that I want to actively try and read before YALC, so that's exciting. It's fantasy. I love fantasy. I'm really excited to check this one out. I believe the second book comes out either around YALC time or a month after YALC time. I can't remember which month it comes out in. So I probably won't read the second one before YALC. I might read it at YALC, but I want to at least read this one, find out what I think of it. I'm really hoping to enjoy it. It sounds really good. Also, I've just had a flick through it and the font is really small and it's really long, but it's YA fantasy, so hopefully it'll go by quickly. I also have Me, My Dad and the End of the Rainbow by Benjamin Dean. This was getting a lot of hype a couple months ago I think, and I think Beth read it and really enjoyed it. This one is a middle grade, so I don't know how I'll feel about it. I mean, I think I will enjoy it, but middle grade doesn't tend to be my favourite. It's usually like something I read and then I'm like, oh, you know, that was fun, and then I unhaul it. So I'll see how I feel about this one. This is another one I'm not sure will end up going to YALC with me, but I'm going to give it a read and try it out and see if it ends up being one of those few middle grade that really, really speaks to me, I guess. I also have Hold Back the Tide by Melinda Salisbury. I have read her Sin Eater's Daughter trilogy and I did enjoy that, so I'm intrigued to pick this one up. I believe it's a standalone. I believe it's rather different to the Sin Eater's Daughter trilogy, so I am very intrigued. I feel like I've heard some people say it's a bit horror-y, but I don't know for certain. But I am looking forward to it. This is one of the ones I'm really excited to read on this list, so hopefully, I don't know, this might be the next one I pick up. We will see. Next up I have the Dragon Realm series by Katie and Kevin Tsang. Katie Tsang is also known as Catherine Webber. When she writes YA books, she writes under Catherine Webber, and she will be at YALC. So I thought I would add this series to my TBR and finally read it. I've been collecting them up because dragons. I love dragons. And then also because of these amazing sprayed edges. I love them. But I am glad to finally have a push to actually pick them up. They won't take very long. They are middle grade again, and they have like a nice big font, so they will not take me very long. So these are the ones that I'm hoping to have definitely read before YALC, or at least the first one, at the very least. I also have You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen M. McManus. I was so excited when I heard that she was going to be there because she's American and they don't always have American authors at YALC because it's in England, obviously. So this made me very excited. I really love her books. I still haven't read You'll Be the Death of Me and I can't believe it. I need to pick it up, but I've read her other 4 books and I've really enjoyed all of them. I have met her before as well, and I'm looking forward to reading this one and meeting her again. And also all of her books, like the first editions at least, have nice sprayed edges. Maybe all of the editions do. I can't remember if this one is just a first print run thing or all of them. But yeah, I love the way her books look. They're so pretty. Next is another American author, and that's Brigid Kemmerer. So I have Defy the Night, and then I have A Heart So Fierce and Broken and A Vow So Bold and Deadly. I'm also going to reread A Curse So Dark and Lonely, but I have read that one before. But I'm going to reread it and then finish the series, and then hopefully also pick up Defy the Night, but this one's kind of lower priority. My main priority is to finish the series because I've already started it mainly. But it would be nice if I could get to this one too. And again, it's exciting that she's going to be there because she's American, and it's just nice to have some American authors there as well, and I'm excited that Brigid Kemmerer is going to be there. Next I have Ace of Spades. I did start this one. I was meant to buddy read it with Beth and I was just not in the reading mood at that time and I never finished it. I think partly as well the mood I was in at the time, I couldn't really get into it, and so I did come very close to unhauling it, I'm not going to lie, but when they announced that the author was going to be at YALC, I thought, okay, I'll keep it, I'll give it another go for YALC. Hopefully I will enjoy it because people were loving it and I do want to enjoy it. I just need to pick it up when I'm more in the mood for it, I guess. Hopefully that will be soon. And then the last 3 authors that I have books for on this list. That was a weird sentence, I'm so sorry. The last 3 authors are 3 of my favourite UK YA authors ever, and I'm so excited that they're all going to be there. I'm not surprised necessarily though, because they do tend to be at most YALCs that I've been to, so I was just happy that they're going to be there again. So first up I have Lauren James, and the 2 books I've not read by her, I own all her books, the 2 I've not read are Green Rising, which is her most recent one, and The Quiet at the End of the World, which has been out for a while and I still haven't picked up. I believe The Quiet at the End of the World, yeah, there's like a global virus, so that's very relevant right now. And then Green Rising says something on the cover about a climate catastrophe, and also this keeps being put on lists of asexual books, so I'm excited to read that and see how asexuality features in it. I'm assuming one of the characters is going to be asexual, but I'm excited to check that out. So these are another 2 that I would really like to read before YALC, just because of how much I love Lauren James. I also have Stay Another Day by Juno Dawson. This is another one I was meant to have read ages ago, like back in December, and I just was slumpy and didn't get to it again. So I will hopefully read it soon. It might be a bit weird reading a Christmas book in like spring, but I will check it out. I'm also really excited to read her new book, Her Majesty's Royal Coven. I believe it comes out before YALC, and if I am right in that, then I will definitely be reading it before YALC, 100%. And if not, then I will probably pick up a copy at YALC, because they tend to have books out early if they've not been released by YALC. Yeah, Juno is one of my favourite UK YA authors, even though her books have been rather hit or miss for me. Some of them I have loved and some of them I've really not enjoyed at all. But the ones I've loved so much. They've been so good. So she is definitely still on the list for me, and I'm always intrigued to see what she comes out with, and she is definitely an autobi author, and I'm so excited to meet her again. I've met her a few times, she's so lovely. And last up is one of my favourite UK YA authors, and also just one of my favourite contemporary authors ever, and that is Holly Vaughan. I have 3 books of hers on my TBR. They are, oh dear, I'm dropping them, Pretending, which is her second adult book. Her first one was really good, so I'm definitely excited to check this one out. And then I have The Yearbook and It Only Happens in the Movies, which has been out for fucking ages and I still haven't read it. Right, It Only Happens in the Movies is like probably one of the lowest priority books because I have already had her sign this, like met her and had it signed and personalised. So that one's lower on the list. I've just put it on here because it is a push to finally read it, basically. But this one won't be coming with me, so it's basically the bottom of the TBR pile. But I definitely want to try and get to Pretending and The Yearbook before I go. I am definitely excited to have a push to read these and also to meet her again. She's so lovely as well. So those are all of the books on my TBR that are by authors who are going to be at YALC. Hopefully I will enjoy them all and want to take them all with me, although having said that, I need to make sure I have room for all the books in my suitcase, so we'll see. I definitely have books that I've already read that I know I'll be taking with me, like some other Lauren James books that I don't have signed, some Alice Oseman books that I don't have signed. I think all my other Holly Vaughan books are signed, so that's okay. There are definitely some authors who have been announced where I don't own books by them and I've not necessarily heard of their books before, and I've had a tiny bit of a look into at the moment. Not a huge look, but just a brief look into, and they've sounded interesting. So I will probably pick those ones up at YALC and read them after YALC. But yeah, these are what I'm going to be focusing on for the next 2 months. There's a lot of contemporary, considering I have not really been in the mood to read contemporary for about like a year and a half now. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's my TBR for the next 2 months. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're coming to YALC and who you're excited to meet, and if you have books you want to try and read before YALC. Let me know everything. Let's talk about YALC. I'm so excited. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!